1971 was my first year there, and I only spent 1 year. Some of my memories of Hardie School would be the smell. I remember the smell, and I remember the walls being green.
I do remember some of my neat teachers' names. My third grade teacher was Mrs. Smith. My second grade was Mrs. McNiff. My fifth grade teacher was Mr. Stackpole. I couldn't forget that name.
See, with your father, you never had to go to school for any reason unless the teacher wanted to see, and very rarely the teacher ever wanted to see you with your father because you never did nothing.
Oh. He was the good child?
He was never in trouble.
Second grade, I got in a lot of trouble. And I used to have an extremely bad temper, and I would lash out on other kids and throw them off the stage and like physically. Yeah, it was bad.
I had Mr. Stackpole as a teacher, and I remember one time I was in the hallway and my brother was either getting into it with some kid, and I went to defend him, and Mr. Stackpole reached out over the crowd and grabbed me up by my shirt and told me I had anger issues.
Thank God I remember this. The one person I remember a lot, still to this day, and you're gonna laugh when I tell you this, was the janitor.
Really?
His name was Huck. Big guy, a bald head. And we all came into the cafeteria all the time, and the cafeteria was the cellar. And there used to be these pipes that go across the floors. And if we got out of control, like everybody started talking, all the kids are laughing and everything, Huck would come out and say, everybody keep it down. He'd take this pipe out and he'd hit the pipe on the thing. He did it 3 times a day.
Oh my God.
It was like we used to get loud just to have him do it.
He was the best guy ever. When he wasn't there, and which was very, very seldom, it was like you were missing part of it was like the school mascot in a way. And he'd take this pole out and rap on the pipes, and man, when you heard it, you paid attention. You'd sit straight up and be quiet. And then when we were leaving the cafeteria, you'd have to form a line, and if you were like carrying on or out of the line, or he'd bang, 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 get in the line, we gotta move on to your next class. And he was just a very loving guy. He was a strong presence.
The only 2 friends I remember, and the names come up, is Bobby Ciani and Jim Ward. Jimmy Ward were 2 people that I remember from Hardie School.
I do remember going to school with 2 people that I was very fond of. One of the girls was Linda Robinson. She would always sit next to me in English class, and I remember making her laugh so hard that she actually peed in the classroom, and there was water under her desk. One of those old oak desks that you could carve your initials in it, like Bobby loves Bernie or Bernie loves Bobby with a heart. It would open up and it would have like a metal bottom to it, and the seats would swivel. So I used to remember getting myself caught in there quite a bit. And then I was very thin, but I don't know how I ever maneuvered that. But every one time getting up, no one took the whole desk with me.
Yeah, the old ones were with the little ink, the little ink thing, and then the thing across the top of it for the pencils to lay them down there. Real old-fashioned.
Yeah.
It always smelled like a number 2 pencil. And it also used to smell like if you get a library book, if you take a library book out and you open it up and you ever smell the inside of a library book.
Right, so you could see it. The Commons wasn't as nice as it looks today. You didn't have pathways.
Yeah.
When you came out, the only thing that was around the Commons, there wasn't the gazebo in the middle, didn't have any of that. It had that was a dirt path.
Then I do remember recess. I remember us going out, and we'd go to the side of the building, and they would give us balls, and we'd bounce the balls off the side of the brick building. And
I do remember after school, especially in snowstorms, if you go where the Hardie Building is and you leave and you're heading towards the beach, the Commons,
Yeah.
on the right of it there's these hills, like
Yeah.
the trees. We used to sled down them all the time.
Oh, really?
I also remember snow days there being so much fun. Everybody going sledding in the back. It was like you'd pray for them because everybody would come in the neighborhood, the Hennessy's, everybody would be there. The hill was, you go at a good clip coming down that.
Going to the cemetery. But it was like crossing the street was like going across the ocean. You know, like, that's pretty much all I can remember, bro.
But I have to say, out of all the experiences that I have, Hardie Building was definitely the best experience as far as my school years. Which, but that was, I always felt like I had a sense of accomplishment there.